We on. Let me put my phone on mute. Cut my wires down. Yo,
Yo, man.
Super Dave, what's going on, man?
Chilling. Chilling, man. What's good with you?
I don't know who had a worse week. Me as a Buffalo Bills fan, or you paying airfare and hotel to watch 3 field goals by
Yeah.
the New York Giants.
I flew down there to watch a soccer game.
Yeah, pretty much. But you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's all that matters. Miami's a great stadium to watch football in. There's not really a bad seat in the house either.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like it's some stadiums are so vast and spread out. You know, you could be kind of far from the field. I felt like you can see everything in Miami. The way
Everything.
it's squared off.
Everything.
Yeah, it's squared off. Yeah, and then it wasn't expensive at all when I went down there. Buffalo steamrolled them, but
Yeah.
we won't be steamrolling anybody anytime soon. This is episode 33 of the Pick and Roll podcast. I'm not in the best spirits, man. I'm not. Historical things seem to keep happening to us this year, all because we can't stop the run. We gave up 5 touchdowns to a running back and over 200 yards, unprecedented. And then yesterday we lost the game with a quarterback only threw 3 passes. He was 2 for 3. He had -3 rushing yards.
We had like 19 yards passing.
Exactly, and they won the game. And out of the top 5 games with under 5 attempts, Buffalo was in the record book for winning 3 of those with O.J. Simpson. So that shows you how good O.J. was.
Yeah.
But nothing positive about the Bills. Let's start there, man. That was a wild Monday night game. It was the game of the week in NFL. Everybody was talking about it. It's supposed to be a heavyweight fight. You watched the game.
Yeah.
All right. Give me your breakdown, your synopsis. All right. Should I say, did New England win the game or did Buffalo lose the game, in your opinion?
It was a classic defensive game. The weather made it a defensive game.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't hang your head because Buffalo defense actually like they played. Besides like giving up that one big run, like you guys were in the game. But like what we touched on before, last night, the wind, the weather was the reason why Buffalo needs a power back.
Yes. That was it. Need a big body that's going to go in
Yes.
there and inflict some punishment.
Yes.
You know, Najee Harris was off the board, but I wanted the guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I like Devin Singletary, but Zach Moss just ain't it. We're very small at running back.
Yeah.
Very small. We're a finesse team. And it's crazy to build a finesse team and play in Buffalo with the way the weather is, with the extreme weather.
Yes. See, I get why you get Josh Allen, big strong arm, played in Wyoming, so similar weather.
Yeah.
So like, and you could tell like last night, like some of his throws, like he had to put some on it to get it there. Your receivers didn't help him out.
No. The tight end, Dawson Knox, did not help us out.
Didn't help him out. But even though Josh Allen got the strong arm for that Buffalo weather, you need a big body back.
But yeah. You need to pull guys out of coverage to stop the run.
Yeah.
I was just disappointed because a lot of the problems that the Bills have had, play calling, game planning, scheming, especially defensively, they showed up last night. And I know we gave up only 14 points.
Right.
But the issue there was it's the same way we gave it up to the Titans, chunk run plays. And this is the second time in 3 weeks that we've given up over 200 yards at home. It's unacceptable. It's unprecedented. It's unacceptable. It's uncalled for. It's everything. It's unprofessional.
Yeah, not for a team that was coming into the season as one of the Super Bowl favorites.
That's my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah,
I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Season's over now, in my opinion. Being a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, and I am, we have Tampa Bay coming up this week, and if we can't stop the run, imagine what Leonard Fournette's going to do. He's licking his chops right now.
Yeah,
and then after that, we got the Patriots again, and they'll be coming off a bye up in Foxborough. So I just don't see a path for us. I'm not even sure we make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm Jim Moore. Playoffs?
You're getting there. You're getting there.
I don't know, man. It's tight. You got the Bengals right there. You got the Steelers right there. Chargers, Raiders. I mean, how many teams are just going to fall off? We have 2 tough games left, and then we have the Panthers, Falcons, and the Jets. So, okay, 3 wins, right? We slaughter bad teams, but losing 2 when everyone is virtually where you are,
Well,
that's a problem.
I'm not gonna say you slaughtered bad season because y'all lost to the Jags.
Well, that was the one exception, but any other time it was shutouts and blowouts this year.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. And that Jags game has come back to haunt us now.
Mhm.
And this is what I was trying to tell Bills fans, but they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll be all right." No, the Tennessee game, no. The Steelers week 1, that is a problem.
Yeah. Those at least we'll say the Steelers, that Steelers game and the Jazz game, those should have been wins.
I mean, we don't have gap integrity on our D line.
Mm-mm.
And at the second level, our guys at the second level take really bad angles and they don't really want to hit. I think it's time for us to get a thumping linebacker if we're really going to play this 4-3, like somebody that plays downhill, like a Reggie Ragland, somebody that's coming down. Like, look, I need to hit. Trey Edmonds is big and as strong as he is, he doesn't play.
He's a finesse guy.
Yeah. He's a wrap-up tackler. He's not coming down trying to lay the wood to anybody. So it's time for them to change their philosophy. I think I just have so many negative thoughts, and this is not a Buffalo podcast, but it was clear Josh Allen was the best player on the field, and we didn't try to get him to throw until the 4th quarter, and he was actually able to throw into the win.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's why you go get a Josh Allen, a nice strong arm quarterback, and that's played in that kind of weather before.
Right.
So that's why you go get him.
Yeah, the disappointment is just crazy for Bills fans. It's kind of like we're familiar with it because we do get on prime time in big games and wet the bed usually. It was just another one, man. It was another one. It's sad. I have a lot of questions for the coaching staff. I don't like how them and the players handled the post-game press conferences, storming off and things like that. You know, you guys got your asses kicked and you got to sit there and deal with it.
You got to own it.
When you win, everybody's high fives. They got jokes.
Chest bumping.
Yeah, chest bumping. You're out there in your cut-off shirt at the podium. Like, yeah, you know, we just do what we do. We're the guys.
Do you think last night is going to have a lasting effect on the Bills locker room?
Yes. Yes, because this is a season slipping away. It's a season lost. And
to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a season lost to everybody because now if you do get to the playoffs, you're going on the road. You know, now you got to go on the road. Now you done made it tough on yourself. And honestly, we're not built to play in our conditions. So I kind of hope we go somewhere with nice weather or at least a dome. I mean, I don't know who's in the AFC. A lot of those teams play north of the Mason-Dixon that are competitive. So I'm not so sure, but any weather would be better than what we typically get in Buffalo and what we've been getting the last few years. It's been like extreme. And I'm one of those fans. They're getting a new stadium, but I'm in favor of a dome.
Yeah.
Just the way the game is played now too. This is an uncharacteristic year for like a lot of running teams. Running backs are back in style for this year.
Yeah.
But I don't see that lasting. And then with COVID and everything, inconsistencies, I just want to see the Bills in a dome. So no matter what type of team you build, they'll be able to play.
I don't like the Bills in the dome.
I don't like it either necessarily.
That's gonna take away like the authenticity of Buffalo Bills football.
And I hear you, but Minnesota went inside at one point and they ain't never left. They stepped outside for a couple years,
and they were awful when they went outside.
No, I mean they lost the playoff game, but they were still a playoff team. Matter of fact, they let Russell Wilson and them come in and beat them, but that's because they missed the extra point.
Yeah, when that extra point went.
Yeah, all the way to the other side. They played in Minnesota, University of Minnesota Stadium.
Yeah,
that was Bridgewater's last year. But I mean, look, I love the idea of it. But if Josh Allen's gonna be your quarterback, you're a passing team, and we got 10 more years of this. Listen, man.
I mean, if you're looking at it that way, if you want to keep the same style of offense that y'all running,
if this is what we're gonna try to do, get a dome.
Get a dome. But I don't like it. Like I would hate it if the Giants got a dome. I would hate it.
I'm not necessarily gonna love it.
Yeah, I would hate it.
But at least I want to see my team be able to operate with the weapons that they acquire. And we also need to get a D line and an O line because when you can't stop the run and you can't run the ball, you're not gonna win any tough games against real competition, and that's where we're at right now, man. And I got to tip my hat to Bill Belichick, man. He's the GOAT. He went at us like we were an FCS football team. He just said we're gonna line up and run it. 67 times.
Yeah, they ran the ball 46 times
through 3 passes.
Not one time did your defensive coordinator say, "Let's stack this box."
Yeah, well, we had 10 guys in the box on that run play. It's just that everyone seemed to over pursue, and that's because you don't got guys that are looking to seek and destroy.
Right.
You don't have that middle linebacker that's got that discipline. So it was just, it was a bad all around. It was bad all around. I saw another game this week, the Ravens and Steelers. I feel like the Steelers didn't deserve to win that game.
They didn't. It's funny because I don't think neither team deserved to win the game.
No.
Like, for Baltimore, for you being one of the best teams in the AFC, yeah, I know it's a division rival. I know it's the rival between the Steelers and the Ravens or whatever. This rivalry goes back. You can't lose this game.
Right.
This is a game you cannot lose because this is one of the games where this could come back to bite you.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you don't went from the top seed in the AFC to about what, the third?
Yeah, to the third. That quick. So, and then you don't want to give the Steelers life.
No.
Because that's not a team you want to end up having to see in the first round of the playoffs. You don't ever want your division team to get back in there.
Yeah, you never want to play your division opponent 3 times in the season.
Right, man. But I just thought that drop was I don't blame the tight end as much as I blame Lamar Jackson. He's got to lead him a little bit and put some air under that.
Yeah, he got to lead him, but he didn't have much time.
Yeah.
It was just like it was bang bang. As soon as he got it, the pressure was on, so he just had to get rid of it.
I mean, even if he flicks it, you know what I mean? It's something. Yeah. I mean, there was a defender closing in.
Yeah, it was in that situation. He's like, I can't take a sack.
Yeah.
So I need to get rid of it. Wasn't that like a 2-point?
It was a 2-point conversion. Yeah.
Yeah, like
he had to win.
He had to, you know what I mean? I think the way I guess they went for the 2 because they couldn't stop him. So yeah, go for the 2. But in that situation, Pittsburgh knew what was going on, so they sent the house, and he just had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Game of inches.
Yeah, it really is.
Game of inches.
It really is, man. It really is. You know who surprised me this weekend? The Washington. Yeah, man. Listen, if Tyler Heineke had a stronger arm, they're competing in that division. They've turned it around. I gotta tip my hat to Ron Rivera, man.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas went down though. I didn't like seeing that.
Nah,
that wasn't fair. Yeah, when they're saying he didn't tear his ACL, but his season still might be done. Yeah, man. That was rough to see that. But look, they're back in the conversation.
Washington is playing some football.
And then with Minnesota being the most disappointing team, losing to the Lions this week. Did you watch the end of that game?
No.
I watched it live.
I was at the game, so I really didn't see.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you were at the game, so you didn't even.
Yeah.
Well, it was no time left on the clock. Jared Goff, 20-something yard pass. Everybody was set up in their zones around the goal line, but for some reason, the guy who Goff threw at went to the guy in the middle who was already running into double coverage. And I guess to triple cover, I don't even know what he was going to do because he was even late on that read. And then, boom, it just a basic, post route just won the game.
Like I didn't watch much of the 1:00 games because I was at the Giants and Dolphins soccer match. But I did see I got the alert that the Lions won on the buzzer, so I was assuming that it was a field goal. And then now y'all telling me that it was a pass.
Yeah, it was a pass. Yeah, man. It was just the Vikings had come back. They had taken the lead. They had a small lead, I think a 4-point lead. So Goff had to drop down the field. And he just it was only like 23 seconds left too when the Vikings took that lead. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, Kirk Cousins did it again. and then they go down there and they give up.
So
the game-winning
how
touchdown.
did they look without Dalvin Cook?
The offense struggled, but they still have enough weapons.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cook played, and I think Thielen was hurt too. He got hurt that game, but they still managed to come back and take control of that game late. It was just probably the worst blown coverage I've ever seen, and I think this is what gets Mike Zimmer fired.
Yeah.
Losing to the Lions, when
Yeah.
you have a chance to solidify your playoff spot, they would have been, I believe, 7-5 at that point.
Yeah.
Now they're 6-6, or they might actually be under 5.
No, I think they're 6 and 7. I think
Yeah,
that
they're 6-7 now. They would have been 7-6.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. They were right there. The Saints keep losing. A lot of teams keep losing, and I think they had a better chance of keeping pace than Washington.
Yeah.
But you got to win that. You have to win that game, man.
But I think Washington is looking good because a lot of their remaining games are divisional opponents.
Yeah.
So they're looking good, and they get the Cowboys this week in like 3 weeks.
Well, listen, Gardner Minshew,
He
showed up. That was the game I checked out, man. And it's everything I've been saying. Now Eagles fans are saying it too. You have to play Gardner Minshew if you want to try to win games, because now you done messed around and got yourself in the playoff conversation when you weren't supposed to be. So if you're really trying to win as many games as you can, which is your job as a head coach, to try to go as far as possible, you have to start Gardner Minshew. The ball was coming out on time. Dallas Goedert gave me 40 fantasy points damn near. I was like, man, this guy was going off.
Yes.
And you see your receivers run a lot better routes. They can catch a lot better. Everybody's a little more enthused when they know the ball is coming out on time.
Dallas Goedert was 6 catches for 105.
Listen, he was killing them. Everybody on the Eagles was killing the Jets. It was a pretty high-scoring game. The Eagles did get a lot of calls, though. I was like, man, they're in Meadowlands, and they're giving the Eagles everything.
So what was Jalen Hurts' numbers his last start?
Well, I know he threw 3 picks.
Yeah,
and his completion percentage
had
was
129 yards passing,
something like that. And he was under 50% completions, and I believe his QBR was in the teens, if not lower.
And Gardner Minshew was 20 of 25, 242, 2 touchdowns, no picks, sacked twice.
It was just veteran quarterback play. It reminded me of some Chad Pennington type stuff. Like, look, let me come in here and win this game, and that's exactly what they did. It was good to watch. I was happy for Gardner Minshew, and I was happy for football and for the fact that I was watching that game and I didn't have to sit through Jalen Hurts, because you're looking at a quarterback that can read the whole field. Mm-hmm. He can actually time his throws, short, intermediate, long. He can do it all. Mm-hmm. So, and this is a guy who's seen all the coverages too. And this guy, he's capable. He's got the arm capable of making it happen.
Right.
So I don't know. And Nick Sirianni comes out and says Hurts is still his guy and they still have faith in him. Listen, man, if that's the hill you want to die on, then die on it. The Eagles fans, beware of this, because this is going to come back up at some point. Right now, who's the strongest team in the AFC in your opinion?
New England.
What makes them the strongest team? Do you really believe?
I believe in Belichick, and I believe in the defense. Like I told you last week when I told you that they were the hottest team in the AFC.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they're the team that's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
They're just the hottest right
because
now.
I think that's going to be Kansas City when it's all said and done. But right now, I'm going to go with New England. And the winning streak that they're on has nothing to do with Mac Jones. He's not winning the games. He's just not losing the games.
He's not fumbling snaps. That's
right.
about it.
Mac Jones is doing the Trent Dilfer. Like, you get me a lead and the defense is going to take it over. And then that's what basically, I think that's what Belichick is telling him before the game. Look, get me 7 points, get me 10 points, and then you just manage.
Yeah, we'll take care of the rest. Yeah, and that's pretty much what they did. And honestly, I think that was the right thing to do, too, for your rookie quarterback's confidence. Say, look, we're already first place in this division. This loss doesn't kill us. I don't want you to go out here knowing that you can't throw into the wind in this hostile environment. We're going to protect you. You're going to protect my rookie quarterback psyche. We're going to take care of him tonight. And that's what they did last night. They took care of Mac Jones.
Right.
I think that played a big part of it. They didn't want him out there trying to throw the ball and doing anything crazy, especially not in that weather. Who's your top team in the NFC right now?
I might have to say Green Bay.
Green Bay. I mean, look, for everything that Aaron Rodgers complained about, it's everything I said. They have the most balance in the NFC.
Yes. And they're primed to get 3 of their starters back. David Bakhtiari is coming back.
Yep.
Jair Alexander's coming back. And what's the guy name? The Davion Smith or something like that. All 3 of them are coming back.
Listen,
so you're getting 3 pieces back for the stretch run.
The Packers have a really good roster.
Yeah.
They have good players at almost every position.
Mhm.
Just about every position. All 22 are good players. I think they're the favorite as of right now to go to the Super Bowl. My pick is the Rams. But honestly, I need to see more. They crushed Jacksonville. But we got to see a real test with Odell.
We knew that. We knew they was going to do that to Jacksonville.
Yeah. They weren't going to let Jacksonville off the hook like Buffalo did. No. They were going to pedal down and destroy them, and that's what they did.
Well, that's what Matt Stafford does. Like when he's playing a bad team, he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
When you got to make him think when he's playing a good team, you never know what Stafford you're going to get.
Well, and their team looked like they were trying to get into a rhythm. They know they got to activate Odell Beckham sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
You can't put that off anymore. You got to get this guy touches, and him and Stafford got to figure that out there. Let's see. Right now, who's your NFL MVP? That's a big question.
That's a big question.
That is a big question. I don't agree that it's the running backs or anything right now. I believe
even though Jonathan Taylor's making a strong push,
I have to go with Lamar Jackson again. Because listen, the Ravens are 8-4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has the amount of injuries he put up with for this team to be 8-4 in that tight AFC. I still got to say Lamar Jackson is probably purely one of the most productive players. He's had a few slip games because I don't think anybody's been great throughout the entire course of the season, right? Like Jonathan Taylor made his case over the last 3 or 4 games, which is amazing.
Right.
But I don't think even any quarterback has been great all season. We know Mahomes hasn't. We know Allen hasn't. We know
Brady's been pretty consistent.
He's got thrown a lot of picks in the last few weeks, though.
Yeah.
Brady's hasn't been a model quarterback.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he leads the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Touchdown passes.
Yeah, but he's had quite a few multi-interception games this year.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Would you put Dak in that conversation?
No.
Because right now, it looks like the Cowboys go as he goes. When Dak goes down, they struggle. Dak's back, they start to score points again. I mean, the Saints, look, that's not as credible as a win as it was.
They had Diet Tim Tebow.
Exactly.
Quarterback.
Yeah, a base model Tim Tebow, who keeps getting paid, by the way. And I don't want to talk about race and sports right now, but I don't know how he gets paid twice in 1 year before he actually plays the position of quarterback and a team actually has to prepare for him.
Right.
Because you see what happens now that people prepare for him. But they gave him 2 extensions in the same 6-month period. I've never seen anything like that in my life. We'll talk about that at a later date, but it's definitely some privilege going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got your number 1 team in the AFC, which is the Patriots, and then you have the Packers in the NFC as your number 1 NFC team. And then your MVP is
Brady, probably.
Okay, so you're gonna go with Brady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, especially if the Ravens get to number 1 seed, it's got to be Lamar.
Yeah. If the Ravens can get that number 1 seed back, then
without receivers, without healthy running backs, if they can get that back, I think Lamar Jackson deserves to get the award.
Absolutely, I wouldn't even fight it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Let's talk the MLB lockout, man. What are your thoughts on the lockout? This is something, I enjoy seeing stuff like this because I think I've seen this coming for quite some time.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it come, especially when they start talking about the universal DH,
Yeah.
the expanding the playoffs. I knew it was gonna be some pushback. So now that the lockout's here, we'll see who cracked. They said that right before the lockout, right before the deal expired, they met for 7 minutes and was just like, we ain't getting it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they didn't even try. All right. So I mean, right now the ball's in the owner's court, and I mean, let's see what happens.
Well, the owners handed out a lot of money right before they locked everybody out.
Right before
All those big signings to all those teams. Now we got to watch that. But I felt like the players' greed is causing the owners to do it. Major League Baseball, the players, they really showed their true colors to me coming out of COVID during 2020. The way they didn't even want to play that season.
Right.
And, it's like, but they still wanted to get paid. And the owners really bent over backwards to make it work for them.
Yeah.
Similar to how the NBA did. So I just think that player greed is going to force these owners and these front office people and a lot of these other leagues outside the NFL to go to war with the players.
Yeah. The one thing that I did like that the players had a beef about was that rule to where you have to play for your organization for 6 years before you become a free agent. Like that's too long.
Yeah, that's a very long time. That only works for the prodigies.
Right. That's entirely too long. Now, if like you said, the prodigies, now if I get drafted and I'm in the minors for a long time, all right, cool. But if I'm in the majors, like throw that out. If I'm one of them guys, if I'm one of them top prospects to where I'm only in the minors for like 2 seasons and then I get called up, get rid of this 6-year. I have to wait.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's holding guys hostage.
It is. Like that's ridiculous for me to be for this one organization for 6 years. Like no, and I'm playing on a rookie deal. Nah, let's get rid of that.
Yeah, man. So I look at this lockout. I think the players are going to have to come to the table and negotiate. And plus, major league owners, look, they got to get people back in the stands and get that sport back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
They're making money and they got decent TV deals. But Major League Baseball is trying to make a comeback in this country.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe the number. It's the number 3. I don't even know if it's the number 3 sport because combat sports is probably ahead of Major League Baseball in popularity right now.
Yeah, probably.
Not a lot of folks are really tuned into what's going on in the MLB like they used to be.
Yeah.
It's no longer America's pastime, that's football. But I think the collision course you're seeing that just took place this is what's happening. This is going to happen in the NBA with player movement and player empowerment. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to rein a lot of that in because they're handing out crazy money to guys. Like, I just can't. They got to have some sort of protection from themselves when they're signing guys like Michael Porter Jr. for $200 million.
Yes.
In baseball, similar things are happening. They're just the system is broken right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think way too many guys make way too much money. And I honestly think rather than just have a single hard salary cap, baseball probably needs to take the basketball, soft cap, hard cap, so you don't restrict the ability to build a great team too much. But they got to do something, man. They just got to do something.
Yeah, the one thing that I will give Major League Baseball is like being in a small market don't hurt like it does in basketball. Like the Rays are a small market team
because of their profit sharing.
Right.
Yeah. The Yankees pay for everybody.
Yeah. The Dodgers pay for everybody.
Right.
Red Sox pay for everybody.
Right.
The little Rays, they build their team from within, and then they look at them. But then when you turn to basketball, like the small market teams can't keep their stars.
No, they can't. They can't keep them, and they have to let guys go for financial reasons.
Yes, they have to let them go. Like we saw the last of Kemba Walker in Charlotte.
Yep.
He was their franchise everything. But then when it was time for his contract to come up, they couldn't afford to keep him if you want to pay everybody else. So you had to let your best player go. And then now he's
Yeah, he's diminished. Which, and look, Charlotte's solid. Charlotte's solid. But I always tell people, if you want to understand sports in a small market and how it's a struggle, just think the Miami Big Three were in the red every single year. The owner lost money, major amounts of money every year for having the Big Three together, and they got 2 rings out of it. But that's why it's been such a long road to climb, because they don't want to get back into that luxury tax. That luxury tax is killing, and being in a small market, the NBA might have to get a system where they kind of get welfare to the smaller team.
Yeah.
Or move the Grizzlies up to Seattle and bring the Sonics back.
Nah, keep the Grizzlies. Keep the Grizzlies
move Oklahoma City.
You want to move them back?
Move Oklahoma City back to Seattle.
They should have never left.
They shouldn't have. Seattle's a great basketball city.
And put Brooklyn back in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Let's get it back to where it was.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was working out fine. Yeah, so this baseball lockout, it's going to be interesting to see. There hasn't been any movement since it was announced last week.
There were reports that there was one agent that was texting all his clients, like, be prepared for this thing to be until like March.
Woo. And look, and listen, they're going to damage the sport. But the owners are ready. The owners are ready because they're not seeing all the profits that they want to see in all the markets.
Yeah, it's going to damage the sport back like it did in '94.
Right.
And it took the steroid era to bring it back.
Yeah.
That baseball was dead until that steroid era. And then
needles and arms brought baseball back.
Yes.
It was quietly mandated that they allow steroids and then we're just not going to test for it. Okay, that's cool. Everybody out there looking like Tony Mandarich and hitting 700-foot home runs all day. It was crazy. So yeah, we got to keep watching. We got to talk about this baseball lockout more as it develops. Let's talk about the NBA. All right. The Lakers are playing the Celtics right now. They're 500. LeBron went on and said, hey, we can't blame Frank Vogel. It's up to us to go out to execute. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think LeBron was sincere in saying that Frank Vogel shouldn't get the blame?
A 1.
Yeah, I don't think we all know Frank Vogel's getting fired.
Yeah.
This is it. And they're going to have to make a serious trade.
Yeah, Frank Vogel's he's a puppet right now.
I think what you're seeing is that these teams, they're markedly better than the Lakers. And they can do it night in, night out, where the Lakers can't do anything night in, night out. They're the exact opposite. They're consistently mediocre on a nightly basis.
Yeah, the Lakers are a average team.
Yeah.
At best. Like I was discussing, I was having a talk last night with a friend. But outside of AD and LeBron, what are the other guys' roles on the team?
I don't think anyone has a role. It's just play and be a veteran, right? Like, go out there and make something happen. I think that's the only way that, that they'll be able to actually operate out there. I don't see a system when they play.
No.
And usually there's never really a system with LeBron. It's just like LeBron.
It's his system.
Right. Drive, kick. It's not really a true system. But they don't have sets that they run. It's just not good basketball to watch. And a lot of the players just don't fit together, man.
No, I don't think none of the players fit together. And you still have to take in consideration that Trevor Ariza and Kendrick Nunn still has to suit up and play. Now you're going to add 2 more guys to a logjam of guys that you already have.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like when Kendrick Nunn comes back, who minutes get cut?
With the trade deadline coming up, or the trades are getting ready to open up, because December 15th is the first day that everyone will be available on every team for a trade. What player do you have marked as is even achievable for the Lakers? We're going to go through some trade talk right now. NBA trade talk.
I mean, the Lakers really don't have any pieces that anyone would want. I mean, yeah, you always want expiring contracts.
Yeah.
But out of the aspiring contracts that the Lakers have, do you want any of them on your team? Do you want a Avery Bradley? Do you want a Kent Bazemore?
No,
Do you want a Wayne Ellington?
no, not at all.
Do you want a Rondo? Like, I don't want them. Do you want a DeAndre Jordan? No, I don't want them.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? I look at Kemba Walker as somebody that they should probably target because they need someone to come off the bench that can actually score, right? Like he'll at least get looked. I'm not saying I think Kemba Walker's broke down and he's definitely on the decline, right? Like the fast decline, but he at least has the offensive capability to create something, and you have the big guys that can set the screens for him, let him come off screens, catch and shoot, let him put the ball on the floor just a little bit and create some space. They can really move some defensive pieces around and create some shots for Kemba Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And him being on this cheaper contract in New York makes him achievable. But the question is, it's always going to be, what do y'all have that we would actually take back? Why? Like, are we going to take a step back to help you out? I don't think so.
I think Kendrick Nunn is going to be there. Is what you want Kemba Walker to be with the Lakers. I think they're going to be expecting that from Kendrick Nunn.
Rush just shot one of the worst. That was an awful possession. Like, what is this? This is not basketball. Oh my God. If you could see what Rush just did, it was disgusting, but the people can't see on YouTube. Listen, let's talk about the Portland Trailblazers. So I predicted it. They are under 500. And what did I say? 10 games under 500 by January, right? Mm-hmm. By mid-January. Mm-hmm. Right now, they're 3 games under 500. They're not looking good. And the reports are that Damian Lillard wants to play with Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I heard that.
Given everything that's happened, what trade is out there? Give me one trade that would make sense for both teams in your mind, for the Blazers and the Sixers, that would have Simmons end up in Portland.
Yo, me and Walt was just talking about this last night.
Yeah.
He said,
shout out to Walt, man.
He said, CJ, a first round pick.
Okay.
Who else did he say? Anthony Simons.
Okay.
And I forgot who else he said. And he was like, in the Sixers send Ben Simmons. And I'm like, if I'm the Sixers, I do it. If I'm Portland, I need Shake Milton along with that deal.
It depends on who that third player is. I think that would be viable for me, but the Sixers look to be driving a really hard bargain right now. They're not like, they're dug in. Everybody's dug in. It's not getting any better. Ben's still not getting paid. He's not showing up to the facility. So I don't know about that trade, though, right? Because I know Ben is worth multiple players. A lot of people say just do it straight up, be done with it, just to get rid of the headache. But listen, the Sixers are going to get it back together. Embiid is in MVP form right now. He's like 40 point a night, Embiid, and he's closing out games. He's learning how to do it, you know. When he was really the closer when Ben was on the court, because Ben wasn't closing the games.
Right.
There's a lot of falsehoods being preached about the Sixers that I don't want to go into, but they're back above 500. They just beat Charlotte, and they got Charlotte again coming up, and then they got the Warriors this weekend and the Jazz on Thursday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens and how they look right this. But shout out to my pops. Maybe a 3-team trade with CJ coming here. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that the Sixers need to take CJ back. I know they shouldn't take CJ back alone, but I'm not so sure they need to take CJ back. I think you could send CJ somewhere else.
To the third team?
Yeah. And then Portland could send those draft picks somewhere else, and that third team send us back something viable, right? Like I'm looking up and down the rosters, or up and down, like the teams. You got Sacramento has like pieces. I don't really want any of those guys. But if you give me, let's say we got a 3-team blockbuster deal, right? And we take back CJ and Harrison Barnes, right? And we give up, Ben goes to Portland, Tobias goes to Sacramento, and draft picks get exchanged, and maybe a Korkmaz or a Shake Milton gets shipped out, and then we bring, Maxey maybe go somewhere, something like that. I think the Sixers really need to be creative, and they really need to put a lot of thought into the team that they're going to send forward and try to make the playoffs with.
Mhm.
Because your deficiencies. You struggle against youth, athleticism, and speed.
Right.
And then if you're Portland, you just need a top player to defend on the wings.
So there was since Pop said add a third team,
Yeah.
there was a report that Indiana is pretty much about to have a fire sale. So do you
Indiana needs to have a
would
fire
you can that be your third team? Do you want anything out of there? Like a Karis LeVert or Malcolm Brogdon?
I'm not a fan of Karis LeVert.
Mhm.
One hand. Only plays off one hand. Brogdon, here's the thing. A lot of people mark Brogdon as a high value player.
Mhm.
But when have we seen high value performances from Brogdon? Is he your number 3 guy on your team as far as scoring? Can he be that?
Yeah.
So if you put Brogdon with Embiid and Tobias Harris, give me a number of points per game that you think Brogdon is going to provide.
About 17.
You think he can give you 17 a game?
Mm-hmm.
If he's healthy too.
Yeah, if he's healthy. And he could take up the slack on defense that Ben is leaving out the door with. Even though
he would take it all up.
He can't guard no bigs that Ben can guard, but Brogdon can guard 1 through 3. A good he can't guard no KD type 3, but he can guard 1 through 3.
I'll say this, right? I think the Ben Simmons trade, if you're going to bring back Brogdon, you have to make that part of another trade. Like, I think Tobias for Brogdon is more on the level of player.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know if Indiana would take a Tobias back. They'd probably say ship him somewhere else, send us some draft capital or whatever. So I think you can get Brogdon in a lesser trade.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem. We're sending a franchise talent out the door, and we're bringing back a role player.
No, but I'm saying if you do a 3-team deal, and I'm pretty sure if Brogdon's coming to Philly, he's not going to come alone.
Yeah, he shouldn't come alone.
No.
Yeah, I would take Brogdon and McCollum, right? Like along with maybe a hustle player like a Simons or something.
Right.
And we can send Shake Milton and Ben out to their respective places.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know. They would probably want Maxey.
See,
that would be tough though.
See, I said that last night. I was like, I would want Ben and Maxey, but then me and Walt was saying, it was like, if you're getting rid of Ben, like you have to keep Maxey.
You have to have a point guard coming off
you have to keep Maxey.
Yeah.
So that's when I came up with.
Or you're the Lakers.
Yeah.
You don't have a backup point guard.
And then that's why I came up with Shake. I'm like, well, if I can't get Maxey, I will ask him for Shake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some trades out there that can happen, and like you said, trade deadline is approaching, and I'm really interested to see like the Ben Simmons situation.
Yeah,
I want to see what Houston does with John Wall, and I want to see like this fire sale with that Indiana. I want to see where Sabonis is going to go.
I don't want John Wall anywhere near the city of Philadelphia. I don't even think he should come here when the Rockets come to town. So just go watch the game from South Jersey, from Voorhees. But I'm looking at the NBA. Denver, they're 11-12 right now. Do you see them possibly making a move? They're sitting in the 8th spot in the West right now. It's still early in the season.
They have to make
a move. They got injuries.
They have to make a move.
And they don't have Jamal Murray back yet.
They have to make a move. No Murray. Michael Porter Jr. just went out for the season.
Yeah.
You got to make a move.
Yeah. And honestly, that's a team you lost production at forward. And you need a scoring power forward. I honestly think Tobias Harris would be a great fit there.
Tobias, he'll be a good fit.
Yeah, he'll be a good fit there. He'll get his touches, and you're not really asking him to do too much because they have other players around.
Right.
They have a lot of length and athleticism around him.
Denver doesn't need to make a splash move because they still got Jamal Murray in the wing.
Right. I'm looking at the Western Conference, and the East is far better than the West right now. The East has 10 teams with winning records, while the West only has 5. Oh, no, 6. counting the Lakers sitting at 500. They're probably going to lose tonight to the Celtics. So that's going to be 5, right? I'm looking at some teams. I don't see Clippers making a trade. They're sitting at 5, and they're getting better. Mm-hmm. They're starting to get better. They're starting to put some games together. Do you see Porzingis getting moved at some point?
Probably.
Yeah, because I know Jason Kidd's calling out Doncic. He wants Doncic to play better. I'm one of the guys that thinks there's definitely holes in the way Doncic processes the floor, right? Like, I don't think he's making guys better. He's just being a scorer and a volume scorer at that. Yeah. A high usage player. Where could you see Porzingis going? What team could really, really use a Kristaps Porzingis without having to give up too much? Because you got to match those salaries in the NBA.
It's tough. I really don't know.
Yeah,
that's hard.
That is
hard, especially like not even knowing I'm looking at the teams. That's hard. That's hard. I gotta get back to you on that.
I don't know who really needs him.
Yeah,
like at this point in time, but I could see him going to maybe a Washington. You can see him in Washington.
Yeah,
playing some forward out in Washington. I could see Porzingis out there.
The Hornets.
Yeah, the West is top heavy. That's what we've got in the comments.
Yeah, the West is top heavy.
I could definitely see it with the Hornets.
Yeah, the Hornets.
But the Hornets would have to give up a big contract to get him.
And they don't have that.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of players.
Only big contract they have is Gordon Hayward.
What would you think about? And this is something I'm just conjuring up, right? Looking at a team that has talent to spare. Porzingis in Boston at forward.
That could work.
Yeah, man. I think that would be a tough move for Boston, and tough meaning good.
Yeah,
I think that would be good. I think he'd be a good fit there. You know, be a face-up forward that can score.
If that move was to happen, who would Boston leapfrog in the standings? Because right now they're 6.
They're 6.
Yeah.
But
they're tied for 6 with the Sixers. I don't think the Sixers are going to stay at 7.
No, I think Sixers are going to move up.
Yeah, I think the Sixers, when it's all said and done, the Sixers will be top 3 in the East.
I think Boston moves into that conversation of like top 3 and 4. I something about me doesn't believe in Miami yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not hate. I want to see if this older team can actually survive the 82-game season, right? Because attrition is going to set in. I don't see Jimmy. We know Jimmy Butler gets tired at some point. Mm-hmm. We know Kyle Lowry gets tired. He gets nicked up at some point. He gets chipped up throughout the course of a season because of just the way he plays, right? Mm-hmm. With the trade deadline approaching, I don't know what Chicago has to give up, but I don't think Porzingis would be bad. Because I think power forward is what you're missing, a scoring power forward that to really put you in that conversation with Milwaukee, who's, having trouble right now, but they're still going to be in the conversation at the end of the day. I think he would definitely work out there. I just don't know about matching the salaries for you guys.
Nah, I don't want Porzingis.
Yeah.
I would want us to talk to Indiana about Sabonis.
That would be sneaky good for Chicago. That would be sneaky good because Sabonis is a hustle man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hustle man. He's a dirty work player, and he gets all that.
Mm-hmm.
Pop said Porzingis for Jaylen Brown, and I actually thought that probably would be better. It would probably space the floor out a lot better for Tatum. For Tatum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea, and you give Dallas another scorer and a guy that could play defense.
Yeah. Pop said Bam is out for a while too in Miami.
Yeah,
and I just don't see them surviving, man. Like I think they gave Kyle Lowry too much money.
Yeah,
you can't give him a fully guaranteed 3 years, $90 million.
I wasn't never a fan of Kyle Lowry because I just think his game is he just runs around and jumps into people and fall.
Oh yeah,
like that's his game.
Oh yeah, agitator.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
And I'm still upset when somebody told me that Kyle Lowry is the best Toronto Raptor player ever.
Yo, let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets because I'm not even acknowledging that. They're not even gonna get no time. And if you stop talking to whoever said that, we already got old head Rob. Shout out to OG Rob, man. But listen, man, that Peyton Manning, Jalen Hurts comparison, that's still the wildest thing I've heard in 2021.
Whoa.
Yeah, like when I remember 2021, I'm gonna remember he compared Jalen Hurts to Peyton Manning
Whoa.
as a rookie.
Whoa.
That was wild. Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. What do you see happening with Kyrie now that New York is re-strengthening the COVID restrictions?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Because the numbers are going back up.
Yeah.
So New York City is most likely gonna, in the coming days, they're working on it, how they're gonna reinstitute a lot of COVID restrictions for people that are unvaccinated.
Well, that means Kyrie might be out for the season.
They're saying. So I see mixed reports. There were the reports earlier this year that says if he gets traded, he's just gonna sit out. But now they're saying that he's only gonna play if he is traded because he feels like the team is not backing him anymore. And he really backed them into a corner.
Yeah.
So I say on a scale of 1 to 10, do you like, what do you, I should know. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think it is that Kyrie gets traded this year? And what team could you possibly see even taking a chance on him coming in with his issues?
Right now I'm gonna go like a 3.
Yeah.
Because of what you just said, like what team is gonna take a chance on him when he said, "Oh, I'll retire if I get traded."
Yeah.
Now, if I'm a GM, I don't even want that thought of me because I'm gonna have to give up pieces,
right,
to get Kyrie, especially to match up salaries.
He doesn't have a lot of time left on his deal either. He's at the end of a contract.
Yeah, this is he got
this is last year, right?
But yeah, but it's like 40 million, 30 million, something like that.
But if you're Indiana, he's just, you're signing him and trading for him to walk away and get that cap space next year.
Right.
I do that if I'm Indiana. If I'm gonna have a fire sale anyway, yo, what do y'all need?
Yeah,
Miles Turner.
Yeah, if I'm a team like Indiana and I know and I'm already letting people know that everything is for sale.
Yeah, we're done up.
Then yeah, if I'm Brooklyn, I call them first. Like, listen, what do you got for me?
Yeah, and if I'm Orlando's 5-20 right now, right? I'm calling them and I'm saying, look, I will take Kyrie off your hands, but I'm gonna need 2 future firsts along with that, and we'll send you a couple. We'll send you Terrence Ross.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you a couple other guys. We'll make it work. We'll put a package together and give us back Kyrie. You can even send Blake down here. Come on.
Yeah, because Blake is out of that rotation.
Out of the rotation, which is, I'm applauding. Guys need to get sat down out of the rotation. If it's not working, we got to sit you down, because in basketball, that's how it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Listen, you're not producing. It's time for you to sit down, just like Kemba. And that's what I would do. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just think the Nets are holding out hope that things will change at the right time. But even then, now Toronto is unvaccinated players can't travel to Canada now.
No.
So now the NBA is advising too, and now they're forcing all the teams to release final list of everyone that's vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
So because they're going to start putting their own restrictions in place with the Omicron and Delta running around.
Yeah.
Delta's really still whooping people right now.
Yeah.
So if I'm one of these bottom teams, listen, come on, sit down. You know what? This might be a little radical. You know whose salary matches up perfect with Kyrie?
John Wall.
John Wall to the Brooklyn Nets, coming off the bench, possible six man of the year. Because with KD and James Harden, I don't think I would start him with those two, right? Because what KD and James Harden are doing right now, they're getting it back. They're taking it back to OKC. And James Harden is rounding in the form. The other night, he had a putback jam, one-hander, and he screamed on everybody. And he looked like he looked like 2 or 3 pounds lighter. But listen, add John Wall to that team. I think John Wall's washed.
Here's why
he can work there.
Here's why I'm gonna nix it.
Why?
Because
it works for Houston.
It works for Houston.
Yeah.
But remember, John Wall and Harden had the riff in Houston. when Harden wanted to get out of there.
No, I don't. But I don't think that was aimed at John Wall. John Wall said, "Man, I think it's messed up that you can't come play for us." You know, he was trying to be the like, oh, he was trying to say, "Oh, just come play with us," and there's no telling what we could do. And he was like, "No, I'm telling you what you can do, which is nothing." I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
We suck.
We know what we could do. Christian Wood is the best player on this team.
I don't think those two could coexist.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this though. For Houston, you can make it real easy for Brooklyn. Listen, we'll take that off your hands. You'll have John Wall. Matter of fact, let's put together a three-way thing. We'll take Kyrie. We'll send John Wall somewhere else, and then y'all send stuff other places.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think GM's got to get back to being GMs, right? We need to start getting creative with these trades and getting people to scratch each other's backs right now.
Yeah, that could be a good one. You could send Kyrie to Houston.
Yep.
You could send John Wall to Indiana. And
Indiana's a perfect place for him.
And then you could take, and then the Nets could take back like a Brogdon,
Sabonis. Yeah. I don't want to see that.
No,
as a Sixers
no,
fan,
I don't want Sabonis to go there. They could just take. I'll get Sabonis.
Yeah, they can have Brogdon and LeVert back.
Yeah,
they could take Brogdon and LeVert back.
Yeah,
I think that would be good for them. Yeah. Houston needs to take a long look at that, because that cap space will be invaluable. And without John Wall, you're starting to win games in Houston. Houston right now, their record, they just had a 5-game winning streak. They're 7-16. Mm-hmm. They were like
1-12
or something like that. Yeah, before. So this is what I'm saying. You can already start to develop a team in place and maybe convince a young B+ level player to come play with you. And you'll get some draft picks back in that, because you're not just going to walk away with a dead contract think that's all they got to give.
Shout out to my god brother Mo Miles. He is a Houston Rockets fan.
Listen, man, dark times. It's dark times, man. I mean, look, he enjoyed the James Harden show, right? It got him close every year. It was exciting basketball to watch if you were a Houston fan. PJ Tucker playing center. You know what I mean? You were still winning games. But yeah, it's dark times. But that is the trade that I would make if I was GM, if I'm Houston, and if I'm Brooklyn. Sweeten the pot, and we'll take this contract off your hands. This headache goes away, and he leaves the NBA.
Yeah, but
goodbye.
I mean, we're in an agreement that something has to happen.
Yeah,
something has to happen with Kyrie. Something has to happen with Ben, and something has to happen with John Wall. We need a end to those three sagas. We need an end
to those, and I think it'd be better for the NBA. They need those names on the floor playing basketball. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens. December 15th is coming up, so hopefully we'll have some trade news either next show or the week after.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out before Christmas. There should be some trade news popping off.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. There's not a whole lot else going on right now.
Nah.
In sports. So yeah, man.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man. This is a light week, man. Other than heartbreak for me in football.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that my season is pretty much all but done.
And I don't know who needs to hear this, but Mike Glennon should never have a starting NFL job. I don't know who keeps paying this guy.
I didn't know he was still in the NFL.
He's the starting quarterback for the New York Giants.
Yeah, and y'all took Jake Fromm off the Bills practice squad. That may have been it. Fromm may have been the guy in the locker room that was inspiring us to play better. You know,
and he might have to start Sunday.
Jake Fromm?
Because Mike Glennon got a concussion against the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. Listen, man, this is going to be interesting because Fromm doesn't have a strong arm. And he's a Georgia quarterback. Oh, Alabama and Georgia. Listen, I got some Atlanta people that like to check out the podcast.
I was waiting for you to get to it.
I told you, man. I posted my favorite meme. It was Michael Vick saying, how come Nick Saban don't go to jail for abusing dogs? And that was my favorite meme. Listen, it just is what it is. It's the New England Buffalo. Georgia is Buffalo.
Let's talk about the playoffs. Let's talk about the college
football playoff.
Let's talk about it.
Did you see a snub?
Did I see a snub?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'm glad Cincinnati got in there.
Yes.
And they didn't screw them.
Yes.
So I'm happy that Cincinnati got in there.
Yes. I didn't see a snub at all.
What did you think about the Big 12 championship?
That was a great game.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a great game, and for it to end at the one like that,
Look, it brought chaos to the playoff picture
yeah,
because it was. I just thought Oklahoma State was going to just get right in.
yeah. That 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 was the potential snub.
Yeah,
If Oklahoma State would have won the Big 12 championship, I think there were people on the committee that was really leaning towards them over Cincinnati.
I would have had an issue with that.
That's why I was saying Baylor cleaned everything up.
Mm-hmm.
They cleaned everything up. I knew the order. I mean, I knew Alabama was going to beat Georgia.
Right.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Because it's a Georgia thing to wet the bed.
Georgia's
in
the
a big
Buffalo
game.
Bills of college football.
And once
Alabama's New England.
And once that happened, I said Alabama's gonna go to 1, Michigan's gonna go to 2, Georgia's gonna be 3, Cincinnati gonna get in with 4. There's some people saying Michigan should have went to 1.
I think Michigan should have went to 1 too.
And people are saying the reason why they didn't put Michigan at 1 was so they could avoid the first round matchup with Alabama and Georgia again.
I see, and I don't think anything should get in the way. It should make sense at all costs. I would love a grudge match.
Now it's set up to where those two will play each other in the championship game.
Yeah. Cincinnati, my condolences.
Yes.
This is going to be some short-lived excitement. I'm just glad you get to watch your team play a championship or in the college football playoffs,
yes.
Right? You got a big bowl game. Enjoy it. Savor the flavor because it ain't coming back.
No.
When we're talking about Michigan, Georgia, who do you see winning that game?
I think Georgia's going to be too much. I don't think see the reason why
Harbaugh probably coached his second best game other than the Ohio State win. He probably coached his second best game in the Big Ten championship.
The Big Ten championship game, that was just
I mean, we rarely see him pedal down and not outcoach himself.
No,
right?
But he had to pedal down in that Big 10 championship game because, like in college sports, unlike professionals, in college sports, it's style points.
Right. Yeah.
So they had to put the pedal to the metal against Iowa because if they would have just won a 31-17, 31-20 game, I think they'd have got bumped down to number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd have got, even though Alabama beat up on Georgia, I think Georgia would have dropped from 1 to 2 if Michigan would have laid a stinker, pulled it out. So they had to get style points. Michigan and Ohio State game, the offensive line won them the game. Then they had the dump truck Iowa, but now I don't think Michigan has the athletes on offense to do to Georgia what Alabama did to Georgia.
I feel like they got the quarterback.
They got a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
But this is going to be the fastest defense that Michigan has played.
I mean, Georgia is a great defense, but Georgia's going to have to score points too.
Now that's going to be the issue.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying to the Georgia fans. Somebody was like, Chris, Cash App. Let's put the money on the line. I got Cash App. You got Cash App. I didn't want to bet because I don't put money on it.
Right.
But I probably should have just said $1,000. It could have solved some problems I got in my life right now. Because I just knew Alabama was going to win, man.
Yeah.
It just Nick Saban has their number.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, that's all it is. So you're looking at Alabama, Georgia rematch for the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Georgia's gonna get let down twice.
Yeah,
that's it. Go Dogs. You know what I'm saying? Go Dogs, man. But yeah, I'm actually excited for bowl season. So I'm gonna check out a few more bowl games. Paige Becker's out UConn real quick. 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't even know how she fractured her knee. That was crazy.
Non-contact was just dribbling up the court.
Damn.
Step wrong.
That's crazy, man. Men's college basketball. Who's impressing you so far? Who's your top team right now?
Who's impressing me? I think they just became number 1 too. Who just became number 1?
NCAA men's?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just throwing that out there. I was like, this wasn't even on the docket. I wasn't even thinking about it. Let's look at the rankings. Purdue is number 1.
Yeah. They I didn't see that. I didn't see Purdue jumping out of the gate like that.
And Baylor's 2, Duke is 3, UCLA 4, Gonzaga 5, Villanova 6.
I'm a little impressed with Baylor, even though they were the number 1 seed last year.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of guys that they lost, so I didn't think they were going to be able to sustain that. I'm surprised with Purdue. Not surprised with Duke, knowing that this is Coach K's last year. I figured those guys will play.
Yeah, they're gonna play hard. They're gonna play their hearts out.
Gonzaga, they lost to Alabama.
That's no one should ever lose to Alabama in basketball.
Right. So I don't like once Gonzaga gets into their West Coast Conference schedule, like they'll put a Band-Aid over.
Yeah, they'll run it up.
Yeah, they'll put a Band-Aid over there. Yeah, I mean, but then once the tournament comes and they play more physical teams, I think.
Yeah, Alabama got a couple of ex-football players.
Yeah,
guys that dual sport guys that like to scrap.
Yeah, it's yeah, like you said, no power team should ever lose to Alabama in basketball.
Yeah, never. All right, man. So this was a great show. We got a Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 33. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Indio Media Group. Henny Hardaway, congrats to Lil Dave. Started the junior high basketball season.
Yeah.
And we got the final dates for the Atlanta trip.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, man, when Lil Dave gets his first shoe deal, let me negotiate it. I just want 3%. That's it. So I can open a bar, call it, Brohams.
Okay.
And then just get up out the game, man. I'm tired of working.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So just let me be his agent.
Mm-hmm.
What's my man's name? What's the Rock's name on Ballers?
Spencer.
Yeah. Oh, what's his last name? I can't remember his last name. But yeah, I'm gonna be Spencer, man. Popping the pain pills, wearing the suits, running around Miami, making sure Lil Dave is all right, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
he was popping the pain pills and chewing them like candy.
Oh man, but it was such a great show, man.
Great show.
It ended kind of wild, but I get why they ended it that way. Like he finally did right by the players in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was a great show, man. I kind of miss watching it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was expensive to make, having the Rock and all that. So I knew they had to cancel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll definitely be back next week. We're gonna watch a whole lot more football this week. Definitely watch some more basketball. And like I said, we're gonna keep an eye on them trades. So thank y'all for tuning in, supporting. And I see y'all watching it throughout the week. That's why we post it on YouTube, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ain't here now, you'll get here. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we up out of here, man. Peace.
The Winter Olympics.